We are wrapped.
We are wrapped.
Yes.
We're
Yeah.
wrapped.
Okay.
Yes.
We did it. Mm-hmm. Any closing remarks? We start with the poet?
Yeah.
With the words?
I know, let's do names. So I was like, here we go. Let me put my host hat on. Bitch be hosted. All right. Yes, hello, I'm VogueRobinson. I'm the poet. You want to introduce yourself?
I am Adeyinka Glover, or Yinka Glover. I am the filmmaker, creative director.
Say it loud.
Let's see, stylist.
Hairdresser.
Hairdresser.
Makeup artist. You know what it is.
Makeup, maybe.
I ain't doing
A little bit of that. Yeah.
All of it. I'm DelGrego. I do the hands. I'm the sign. I do the sign language. It's interpreting and being a part of it in a different light.
Yeah, for sure. I would say one thing I'm really glad that we were all able to do was just kind of communicate along the way about what we wanted and how we wanted to be. I'm fine being my messy self. This is my bra strap in honor of Amy Winehouse. You know what I'm saying? Just have it out there. But yeah, I think just being able to collaboratively work on things across different cities, across multiple mediums, and to utilize my home has been a big deal, and then to utilize spaces in Las Vegas. I wanted to kind of do all those things. I think we made it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
How are you feeling, Miss Glover?
I am.
What are your takeaways?
My mind is just running because now that we have the footage, my mind is just, prior to this moment, thinking, okay, what else do we need?
Mm-hmm. What
else do we want? And now it's just, how am I going to piece this all together? We have some amazing footage. I'm excited to see us in all of our glory.
I know, it's hard to sign glory. Teach us things.
Oh, I don't know that sign.
Glory.
If there's
There's not really, but you could say you know, almost like manifestation of an idea.
Sorry. Glory.
Yes. Glory.
You're signing for real.
Mm-hmm.
So Miss D, yeah, can you tell us kind of one of your key takeaways and how you're feeling?
I was initially really nervous. Now I'm excited. I feel like it's gonna be really cool to see the crossover and the introduction of my first language.
Yes.
I've never done anything like this before, so I'm excited and super honored.
Yeah. I think that was what was really, interesting and important. One of the things I love about you is that ASL is your first language. And so when I was telling Yinka, I was like, yo, we got to get D in there. I want her to sign, but I don't necessarily want her to interpret the piece. I want her to interpret the piece, personally interpret the piece. And I noticed, and I know you said you didn't notice it, but sometimes when we're in conversation, you'll sign because it's naturally the way that you think. But I wanted you to be able to talk about also how you're saying, we didn't want to take jobs away from other interpreters, but that this was something different. But if you want to kind of share a little bit about what you told us about how many interpreters we even have that are Black.
Yeah, I mean, even the idea of the interpreting world is so, it's watered down, it's whitewashed, it is not diverse. The whole reason deaf people even got American Sign Language is because it was brought over to indoctrinate people with religion. And it was brought over by the French. And so we see a lot of that carryover still to this day. So people of color make up less than 10% of the entire interpreting population. And what I didn't want to do...
In the state.
In the world.
In the world, okay.
Yeah.
World, Craig.
Yeah.
And in Nevada,
top flight security.
Yeah.
But yeah, in Nevada, the number is even smaller. I think, we're talking maybe 3 or 4 of us that identify and are residents. That's important because a lot of people do travel from other states and they're like, oh yeah, I'm from Washington or I'm from California or I'm from Arizona. And it's like, but are you a Nevada resident? No? Okay, not counting you in my populace.
Okay.
Let's get that number correct. But what I didn't want to do was take away an opportunity from a deaf person. But, we were able to talk through that, and, when I understood that it wasn't, it wasn't something that was even remotely close to that. It was more so friends and collaboration and a sharing of ideas and an actual ask of interpretation. I was like, sign me up, say less.
Yeah.
And Vogue, could you talk a little bit more about that, what you were envisioning for this?
Yeah. I mean, one of my big dreams is to be able to continue to do this work, but to do it more consistently, to make sure that I'm paying people in a way that feels equitable, or to help people know that I do value their energy and their time. And this was, a Nevada Arts Council grant, and so that's NEA money, that is direct money from the government. And I was like, yeah, I would like the government to pay my friends to come through and create something together with me. And you and I have worked on multiple projects, literally
Since college.
day one, from the time that I started performing in 2006. I've been reading poems in like hallways with Yinka for years. So literally seeing the evolution of like, I don't want to read this poem. Oh, I'm about to go read this poem. Lego, you come in, like we show up to shows, and so you've been always like just have this huge creative mind and can see my work in a way that's differently than I do. And so I thought about, okay, Yinka is a visual interpretation of my work that I would not come up with. Who else can speak to my work in a different way? Who else speaks another language that is beautiful and visual and expressive? And it just so happens right now there's like hype around sign language, and I love that we're seeing that at hip hop shows. I think it was like a Lizzo show, and I think they showed like the one who was at Rihanna's space who's also an interpreter. But I was just like, no, my friends are genetically creative, and then my friends came through and have always, also a painter, also sews, also. And for you, that your coda, that your first language is sign. Yeah. It's just like, I'm like, I don't think I know anybody who's verbal, if you will, if that's the right language to use, and also that sign is their first language. And so I was just like, I've never met a person who has that perspective, and like you kind of were born into allyship, and also like, I don't want to tell your like story, but just the places where you had to interpret even as a child. Just the responsibility. So I wanted you to be able to have fun doing this thing that you do for work, and do it in
for
a way
life as well.
that you do for work, that you do for life, and now you get to do for play. I hope that you have fun. I hope that you had fun.
Yeah, I hope you had fun.
I did. And I look cute. And you look cute. And you look cute. So, yeah. We're going to have to figure out a new title for this poem.
Please do, because I'll need it at some point.
Yes. But for now, it's freedom. And I hope that we got to express ourselves freely today. So, 3 phenomenal, highly creative Black women with multiple careers, different mindsets and modalities. But we're here together for this piece.